Hey guys, Max here, and I've been playing a lot of Fahkumram, and I feel like the people deserve an anti-Fahk guide. I think he's one of the more balanced characters in the game right now. I think he's one of the most balanced characters. He has good strengths, good weaknesses, and I'm here to help you counter the common kind of gimmicks that he will do online. So I'm gonna start off by going over his strengths, and then his weaknesses, and then his game plan, because this is something that you kind of can't tell by just going over replay takeover. This is something that you kind of have to build up by playing the character more. So he has really good range. I wouldn't, I don't know, it's definitely not the best range in the game, but it's up there. And he has good counter hit launchers and just good counter hit damage and frames in general. So you have to be careful about pressing. And he has good strings, I would say. He has good strings in the sense that you get punished for pressing. So it's more counter hit that I want to focus on. It's similar to Brian almost, where they want to try and get you to duck or mash, and when you do, the risk reward becomes very good for them. Except in Fox's case, I think the strings are a little bit weaker. But let's get into that. So often you'll see Fox in neutral. You're being really patient. You're not sure what to do. They'll abuse this wall running move. This is +6. After this, I would really not suggest pressing unless you have to. Depends on the situation. But this is guaranteed for the most part. Along with this, they mix the mid with an approaching low, which is plus on block. This is very nice. They're both slower options, but when you're faced against strong counter hit launchers, sometimes you freeze up. This is a good strategy. They want to try and make you press, so turtling up is pretty good. Now, after these plus frames, most of the time, the most autopilot response for online Fahkumram is to do his down 4. This is a 14 frame low. This is very fast. And on counter hit, this does like 38 damage. Even on normal hit, look at that damage. It's pretty good compared to most folks nowadays in Tekken. The thing is that online, most people can't tell the difference between these two lows. So they'll press on the +4 low, get counter hit for a bunch of damage. That's not true. They'll just get counter hit or sidestep or whatever, and they're going to start hesitating instead of taking their turn back on this low. So being able to tell the difference is pretty important. But I don't blame you for not being able to tell. Just know that any string that ends with a low on this character ends with the -4 low. So it's your turn if you get hit. -4 is they can't sidestep a jab if you want to keep them tight. Just know they really can't do much unless they're in heat, which I'll get into. So, Oof is good range. Often players abuse the strings off his 13 frame mid. Online, if you let them get away with the spin mixes, this becomes a 13 frame mid. That's just like a 50-50. Are they going to do the plus on block high? Or are they going to do the counter hit splatting low? It does a lot of damage on counter hit. You have to be careful. So, option select for both of these. This is a fake mix off its 13 frame. That's the way I'll refer to it as. He has a high follow-up he can do. And he has a mid -12 follow-up he can do. Yeah, I'll set a punishment technique. I am... Online, people rarely do the mid, because it's -12 on block. But know that it beats Dick Jab. And Dick Jab beats everything else. That's the basic mix. If you have a counter hit string, like Dragunov 1-2-1 or Brian 1-2-4, if you have a good counter hit jab string, you can punish people for going into the spin or trying to charge with that string, and then they have to start thinking about the mix. As long as you make the Fahkumram player think about a mix, you're already at an advantage with most Tekken 8 characters. Along with that, this 13 frame is extremely linear to both sides, so just sidestepping and blocking is a good option against this character. +4, go for a sidestep there. That's kind of, instead of pressing. Sidestepping, better than pressing. Let's talk more about the strings off this 13 frame. He has this high If it's a counter hit, he gets guaranteed follow-ups. 51 damage. That's a lot for a 13 frame. You have to be really careful. This triple high, although it isn't true, you can duck all 3 parts. You can mix it with a mid and a low. Often, it's not worth the mental energy to try and micro duck this, and it's quite hard. But you can do it with enough practice. It's better to understand that once he does this, his turn is over no matter what. If you just stand, even if he does the low, his turn is over. You take your turn now, and you hopefully do a better mix. That is my best advice. If he does this, punish. Take your turn back, do the mix. Now, outside of his neutral, where he has a lot of negative frames, take your turn back, run up, do your mix, stuff like that. Take your turn back, you know, it's all that. Let's talk about the heat. This is where things change, because he has a really strong, not even heat, just anytime he gets his install, say you mess up, say you get hit by this move, whatever, there's a lot of ways for him to get his install. He has a very strong parry in this install, where if he hits it, he'll go into the T-pose stance. And this stance is very good for Fahkumram. It's bad for you, okay? And mostly it's because this mid, it wall splats, and it's plus on block, and it's big damage, okay? And you can't rage art here. If you get hit by the spin, and he does this mid, it's his fast option, because he's so plus, and it beats rage art and armors. So, you're really just in a guessing situation. If he hits this, better off doing this. Anyways, so just know if you see them charge, you can launch, you can sidestep, or you can just jab, just stick jab and get out of there and do your offense. Eventually, if you let them get into this too much, he'll hit it and you'll have to guess. But hopefully by then, he's low enough for you to kill him. Every single time he goes for one of these mixes, if you get good at sidestepping or just launching, the risk-reward becomes really bad for Fahkumram. And a lot of characters in this game, you launch, you go into heat, and they're just stuck eating mids that will kill them if they like press. It's very scary to get launched in this game, and Fahkumram is no different. If he launches you, you're in a bad spot. But just so you know, even the uncharged version of this mid is launch punishable for people with 14 frames. So you can also fuzzy between these two. This is very fake. But doing the charge version is even more negative. Just so I'm not charging here, he can launch me. That's a Brian special. Most characters probably can't, but everyone can do their jab interrupt. More stuff about the heat. Let's go over just common strings people use and get away with. This is -14. Brian can launch this. Well, just do your 13 frame punish. Or if you're really not sure, just always do your 12 frame punish. Almost everything on this character is 12 frame punishable. Other than the highs. Highs are safe because you can duck them and you risk getting launched for doing them. That's Tekken Balance 101. The spin mixes into the knee are really good. This is probably his safest way of getting into that stance. And if they're doing this on you, it's hard, honestly. You have to interrupt, you have to guess, you have to sidestep. You just have to play Tekken. He has the tracking option that no one uses, but the important thing is you can take your turn back a lot more than he should have his turn whenever he catches out with moves. Other way he can get into stance is from this string. I couldn't do it there for some reason. I don't know. It's been a long day. Similar to the 13 frame mid, you can interrupt everything, or you can just launch him for doing it. Just know that it is possible. all the stance entries are really just knowledge checks, and it can be hard knowing every single string, so it happens. Don't get too pressed about it. Back to the strings. In heat, I see people use this a lot. This is a triple mid plus unblock, and thankfully this game is still pretty balanced in that if there's a triple mid and it's plus, something's wrong. You know? On hit, he gets to get his install again. If you press here, he splats you on the ground and he gets a guaranteed follow-up that gets him to install again, and then he can loop that string over and over again. So just be careful pressing. What you can do is after the second hit, if you just wait a tiny bit, you can sidestep to the right. Don't rush it. Often I see people rush it and they get hit by the second hit, or if you press too fast, you get locked out of sidestepping. But if you wait, this is always sidesteppable. Even at the wall, you can get, it's just very linear. And then you can launch him and do your offense. This move, if there's no other follow-up they can do, even if they like fake you out by not doing it, they're still minus 14. You can still sidestep and take your turn. This is just 100% a knowledge check string. It's, if you don't have Fahk and you want to practice against something similar, Zayu has the exact same string in Heat where she does like forward 2-2-2 or something, and it's the same. It's also a triple mid plus unblock. It's the exact same thing. You have to delay your sidestep to avoid it. Let's talk about a couple more things. I feel like I'm going on. It's all off the top of my head, so let's talk about the Hell Sweep. And yeah, I think that's the last thing I'll talk about is the Hell Sweep. So he has a Hell Sweep, and unlike most Hell Sweeps in the game, it costs resources to actually work. This is minus 23 on block, and he has to go into the spin stance to do it. It is a strong move. High risk, high reward. He can do a mid after. Just know the mid is minus 3, but because you're in crouch, he can sidestep most of your panic options after this. And you have to guess. I mean, often on knockdown, a very common situation is I'll hit this, I'll get my resource, and I'll spin at someone, and they try and sidestep, and they'll get hit, you know? So just be on the lookout for that. You can react to him spinning and duck. And if you get hit by the mid, it doesn't launch or anything. It's really not a big deal if you get hit by the mid. If they're constantly doing the mid, sometimes you gotta guess, you know? It's +8. Don't press after. Even on counter hit, they don't get much more for that. I don't even know what... You don't get much. I don't know. But this 50-50, it costs them resources, and... yeah, it's not great. It's 0 about resource. They can not do the follow-up, and it's +1. But yeah, it tracks. It does track a lot. So this is kind of your call-out for people to sidestepping in neutral when you're trying to mix between your options. They kind of got frozen, and he catches out. But just know that they have to go into the spin to do it. I'm sure there's other things I haven't covered, like on Whiff Punish. Often this is a very good move for Fahkumram. He gets a guaranteed follow-up, and he gets his install if he hits it, but it's minus 13. And yeah, there's more things in the kit, but hopefully that'll help you out in the matchup. And if there's anything else you're struggling with, let me know. And yeah, peace.